All right, so I've got tiles. So the indirect artillery in the specific moves, they're all implemented. It's not perfect, but mobile. This is a enemy. Let's see if we can find one. This is an enemy mobile artillery unit. This is a enemy artillery unit. This one fires 3 times. It's scattered, so if it targets here, the 3 shots can all land on that tile, but chances are they're going to scatter about based upon the odds. This is a mobile artillery. It shoots 1 fire in an indirect artillery mode, but it's more accurate. It can still scatter, though. It can still miss off target, but there's only 1 shot. So preferably this will fire indirectly. Preferably this will fire directly, but either one will fire indirectly or directly if they can. It's just that this one will fire directly as a preference. It has to use one of these spotters. The spotters is either an infantry, mechanized infantry, or this one underneath this. So here, a motorized infantry. All right, in order to kind of do the debugging today, I started placing tiles under the 3 units that complete quote unquote fire mission. So that would be the artillery unit that's doing the firing, the spotting unit will be highlighted, and the targeted tile will be highlighted. There is a preference to targeted tile. Enemy artillery units are the #1 preference, then heavy tanks, and then it kind of goes down a list. There's also a cluster rule. If there's 3 or more in a cluster, that's a higher preference than 2 or more, and 2 or more is higher than 1 more. It's kind of weighted. All right. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to move these guys so they're not in direct fire, because if they don't, they'll just sit there and direct fire at them. And I'm not going to be doing any firing because I'm trying to test their capabilities. None of the normal AI has changed, or the normal AI has changed. It's all
fire for effect.
There's only 1 spotter because he could do a direct fire.
Fire for effect.
Oddly, he moved backwards. These guys, deploying smoke and entrenching, I mean, it's there. I don't really have behavioral rules set up for them at the moment. They just kind of like, it's like, oh, I've got a special move, let me do it.
Fire for effect.
That was a spotter and that was a spotter, so they didn't do anything. They just stayed there. Meanwhile, these other guys, they just entrench. Let's see what happens this time.
Fire for effect. Fire for effect.
As you can see, the light tanks are just sitting around putting smoke out and not doing anything. The mechanized infantry, he can do a smoke if he's not spotting, and he's putting smoke out, yada yada yada, because one of these other units, I guess these 2 units were used as the spotter.
Fire for effect.
units are beginning to, light tanks are beginning to fire.
Fire for effect.
Let's just move and
Fire for effect. Fire for effect.
So I'm trying to see why these guys aren't. They moved rather than doing a indirect fire. There is another issue where they have a min max range, and they're definitely, he is not in within the min range band, and he shouldn't be either. So one of these guys should do an indirect fire. There's a spotter right there, and there's another one right there. So they shouldn't move. And move. I don't know. Anyway, it's getting better. At least it's working, and it's not targeting empty tiles and not reusing the same spotter or attempting to use the same spotter. So that's good.